Hello again, Psych 370 students, and welcome to another video lecture. In my previous 3 video lectures for this week, I've talked about how operant conditioning can be applied in the home, how it can be applied in clinical settings, and how it can be applied in the classroom. So in this one, I want to focus on another setting in which the principles of operant conditioning can be applied, which is the workplace. So obviously companies want to save money, right? And employers want the best performance they can get from their employees. And pages 271 through 273 of the textbook describe a few pretty basic strategies that can be put to use toward those ends. So, for example, it's been known for a long time that simple feedback can improve people's performance on a task. That finding dates at least as far back as Thorndike, who found that blindfolded people didn't get more accurate at drawing 4-inch lines unless Thorndike told them how long the line they just drew was. And so, one simple application of that finding is that if you want people to work better or more efficiently, you've got to give them feedback on how they're doing. And so, of course, nowadays, most companies do exactly that, such as by providing regularly scheduled performance evaluations for their employees. But of course, simple feedback isn't the only way for a company to save money or to improve productivity. Positive reinforcement can do the trick too. And so many companies also offer monetary bonuses to their employees as rewards for not only good performance, but also other desirable job related behaviors. For example, in one study, the researchers looked at how positive reinforcement could help a small electronics company that had been dealing with problems related to employee tardiness and absenteeism. So it's obviously difficult to do your job well if you're consistently late to work or absent from work. And so, to address those problems, the company decided to allow their workers to participate in a monthly lottery if their attendance record had been perfect for the past month. So each month, the names of all the workers with perfect attendance records were entered into the lottery, and a random drawing was held to determine who would win a $10 prize. Now, I know that a chance at winning $10 doesn't seem like much of a reinforcer, but it did produce desirable effects in these employees. In fact, in the first 11 months of the program, absenteeism was 30% lower than it had been during the previous 11 months. And even though the program cost the company a little money, since they had to pay the lottery winner every month, it saved them thousands in sick leave expenses. And so that lottery system definitely resulted in a net gain for the company. Similar findings with truck drivers and roofers are described in your textbook, and other research has also found that monetary rewards may not even be necessary. For example, one study found that absenteeism could also be reduced if employees with good attendance records were rewarded with certificates that were publicly displayed. So it seems like it's possible, at least in some cases, to reinforce desirable workplace behavior by just publicly recognizing it when it occurs, even if that recognition doesn't actually result in any extra money for the employee. So, reducing absenteeism and tardiness is obviously one way for a company to save money. But another way to do it is by decreasing the number of accidents that occur in the workplace. Because those accidents can be very costly for companies, right? Not only can they result in things like workers' compensation claims, but you've also got to consider other potential costs like training replacement employees, repairing any damaged property or equipment, paying increased insurance premiums, and so on. And so it's obviously in a company's best interest to minimize workplace accidents, and research suggests that operant conditioning can help companies do that. For example, in one study, 2 mining companies reinforced safe, accident free performance by giving their workers these stamps that basically worked like vouchers. The workers could exchange the stamps for various types of merchandise. And so the workers could earn stamps by following safety protocols and avoiding accidents, but they could also lose stamps if they or anyone else in their group had an accident that damaged company equipment or caused them to miss time from work. So that's basically how the stamp program worked. And it proved to be quite successful because after these mining companies adopted it, there was a substantial reduction in the number of work related injuries at both mines, as you can see in these graphs. And the savings from those reduced accident rates were about 15 times greater than the cost of the stamp program. There's also a similar study described on page 273 of the textbook where safe on the job behavior was successfully increased by reinforcing it with time off. So again, what we're seeing here, guys, is that companies can definitely increase their profit margins by simply incorporating these very basic, very fundamental principles of operant conditioning that we've spent the last few weeks talking about. So employers don't have to spend an enormous amount of money to reinforce desirable behavior in their employees, and the money they do spend usually pales in comparison to the amount they save in terms of increased performance and decreased accidents. Okay, well, guys, that's just a quick summary of some of the ways in which operant conditioning can be and has been applied to the workplace. Now, I just have one more video lecture for you for this week. That one is going to focus on applications of operant conditioning to animal behavior. So I'd encourage you to check that one out when you get a chance. But that's going to do it for this one. So as usual, please do let me know if you have any questions about this stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.